we'll continue our discussion of Intune and working with mobile devices. Specifically, we're going to demonstrate enrolling an iPhone. Let's get started. All right, folks, so here what I've done is I've just gone back to the dashboard here in Intune, and I started up a Reflector. You can see I just downloaded a trial of Reflector 2. I had been using a different product, but it's not compatible with iOS 9, which I just upgraded to. So anyway, I'm going to try this and we'll see what happens. But what you want to do is you first of all need to instruct your users somehow, or you can even deep link for them if you want to, whatever the location is of the Microsoft Intune company portal for your iPhone users in the App Store. And when I say deep link, that simply means to find the web address of this app and put it maybe on a web page, on your company web page or something, and say, click here to install this. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and download it. So I'm going to click over, tap over here where the download begins, and we'll let this continue on. All right, so now I've got the Intune company portal downloaded, and I clicked on sign in, tapped on sign in. I'm entering my credentials in here, and we'll go ahead and sign in. And then what this will do is it will recognize the email address that I use there, the sign-in credential of jamesconrad.photography, knowing that that happens to be configured in Intune for that domain. So now I'm going to go ahead and in the upper right here, I don't know if you can see it, but up in the upper right here, tap on Enroll, and we'll allow the process to continue. Okay, oh, that's a reminder to myself. That's not related to this. I'll mark that as completed. Last night I went out to dinner, and I accidentally tipped the waitress way too low. I'm usually a generous tipper, and I miscalculated. I don't know what I was doing. I may have had too many glasses of wine. Anyway, I tipped her really cheap, and so I wanted to go back and fix that today. But anyway, so that's what that message was. But here we can see now that in the management profile, where it says CBT Nuggets, we are indeed logged in and everything. We have everything ready to go. I'm going to click on Install, and it's able to do that because of the fact, oops, don't look at my code here. I got to drag this off to the side because it does show that when you tap it in. I think I got it right. Let's try this. And then I enter that in, and then I'm now going to go tap on Install, which is down at the bottom. Sorry about the watermark down there. You might not have been able to see that, but it did say Install, and I tapped it. And now we see it's enrolling the certificate, installing the profile, doing a few other things. This is telling me that the administrator might try to remotely manage my phone and get personal information from me. We would never, ever do that, people. Trust us. So we're going to go ahead and click on Install. And, of course, we trust our administrators and the certificate, actually, that we're working with. Here's what that is. And we'll continue to install the profile. And now it's done. So then I just click on Done, and we are now enrolling the device. Open this page in Company Portal. I'll just go ahead and open it there. And I tried to open up a web page is what that originally was there. It kind of dances back and forth between a browser and this portal. Now my device is enrolled, and I'll have access to company resources, and it'll take effect shortly. Thank you very much. And in the portal app here on my phone, if I just tap on my company apps up here at the top. We don't have any right now, but we could side load apps, and then they would become available to us here, right? You're going to see here there's no apps to display right now. Let me go back over. Then we also see that we could look at other apps or browse by category, but again, we don't really have anything going on there. Oh, don't look at my phone number there, people. Don't call me, please. Also, I found this kind of funny. There's a thing down at the bottom that says contact by email. And if you tap on that, you'll notice that I entered in just kind of a bogus address. That doesn't actually exist. But I tried to enter in my administration pages here in Intune, where I was entering in the email address of jamesconrad.photography, and it didn't like it. It didn't think it was a legitimate domain. Who knows? Maybe it's not. And it didn't like my jamesconrad.photos or anything. So apparently it doesn't seem to like any of the newer items there. But I'm going to cancel that and delete that draft. And then if we tap on the device itself, we can see that down here at the bottom, indeed, we are in compliance status. It has not been jailbroken or anything like that. All right, I'm kind of having issues with my little reflector here that shows my iPhone, so I'm going to try to show you the rest of the stuff that I want to do on this iPhone real quick here, and then switch back over to Azure. But if I go back over to our company portal again, you can see here that I can go to the J. Conrad's iPhone, and again, we see all this information here. If I've updated any policies, for example, I actually took off the restriction to do screenshots, so I can press power and the home button and do a screenshot, just like I just did just right there. You can see it kind of flash. But if I turn that back on again and I wanted to apply the policy, I could tap the sync down here in the lower right. That would sync information about this phone back to Intune. And it would also download any new policies. I could also do this reset thing over on the far left. We can't do that here, but again, I could have created a policy that allows the users to reset their own phone. So I could tap that, but right now it's going to tell me that I can't do that on my own. I could remove it from management. Just tap remove there. Once again, there's also policies that you can configure so that users can't remove the devices. And I can also rename the device if I so choose. Also, returning to my home page here, if the user wants to know more information about what's going on with their phone, they can go to General and see how it's managed. So they can go down here to Device Management, which you can see close to the bottom here, and tap that. It shows the management profile. And then if we tap that, we see the restriction contains mobile device management. We have a couple of policies here. There's a password policy, and there's a certificate here. And then if we go to more details, we can see more details here in terms of the certificates, but more specifically, the restrictions appear down here, saying that the camera is not allowed, and installing apps is not allowed. And in fact, if I go back to the home page here, notice that there's no app store here. That used to be on my phone here on this home screen, and it's just gone now. It's not even available. If I swipe up here, those of you that are familiar with iPhones know that there's normally, the watermark's in the middle here, but you can see the flashlight, the clock down here in the middle, and then the calculator, but there's normally also a camera over to the right. No longer there. I can't take pictures with this thing. What good is this thing? How am I going to do selfies if I can't use my camera, folks? Now let's also go back to the dashboard here, where we're going to see more things that we can work with now, such as the policies. If we have any conflicting policies, they should appear, alerts, all that sort of thing. But now we see a mobile OS device. So tap on that, click on it, and you can see a lot of the different things that we can now do with this. So, for example, we could click on View Properties up here and get more details about this phone, any alerts that might have come up and so forth. I don't really have a whole lot going on here. I can't click on Hardware. It's kind of interesting. It shows you how much storage is used and how much is remaining. But it also shows the MEID and some other sensitive information that would be potentially vulnerable to me, so I'm not going to show you that one. There's the policy that appears over here. Again, same thing we've seen before in a different UI when I was actually configuring these. But again, I do not allow the camera. I do not allow the App Store. I do not allow simple passwords. It cannot be jailbroken or rooted, and it conforms to all of these things. So, pretty good management here and pretty good way of keeping track of these devices. Other kind of cool things we can do with this would be something like a passcode reset. I have a hard time remembering 4 digits, so I don't want to reset that one anyway. But there's also this remote lock. Look, here's my phone again. If I do a remote lock, it might take a few seconds. Actually, drag that out of the way. Are you sure you want to lock the phone? I'll say yes. Maybe they left it on a bar stool somewhere, and we're concerned that somebody might walk by and see a sensitive email or something like that. So, we could just lock that. It may take up to 15 seconds, I think. Actually, 15 minutes, it says. Hopefully, it just locks here in just a moment while I'm stalling. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I was almost ready to pause recording, but it did it for me. Okay, so now I'm going to unlock it. I do that with my thumbprint, so, that was quick. But kind of a handy little item there. If we return back here to all mobile devices, and then I go to this device, let me click over to it. Then we can see there's also a few other things we can do. We can retire or wipe the device. I'll come back to that in a moment. But look at this, remote tasks. Now, I don't have 4-for-1 endpoint protection set up or anything like that right now, but if I did, I could do malware scans. I could restart computers. Some of this really relates to PC devices anyway, so that's probably why it's not giving me some of these options as well. But you can refresh policies. I can also remote lock again, and then I could password reset. We see those two options are available here. Depending on the device you have and the options available in Intune, then some of these become exposed and available. All right, folks, I know what you really want me to do. You want me to hit this retire wipe link, don't you? Not only are we going to selectively wipe the device, but we'll wipe the full device and return it to factory settings. Hopefully I have a recent backup. I'm going to go ahead and click on yes, tap on yes. I'm not sure if this will appear in time to appear on the screen or not, and I'm not sure if my reflector will even stay connected during the time that it resets itself. When I did this for System Center Configuration Manager a few months ago, it actually did keep the connection. So we'll see what... Oh, there it goes. While I was stalling, it reset itself. I hope you people are happy now. I've got to restore my iPhone. Anyway, I did that to teach you people a lesson about how easy it is to remote retire and wipe a device. That iPhone could have been on the other side of the planet, and we would have still been able to wipe it out, provided there was a cell or internet connection of some kind. All right, folks, that wraps it up for now. I have nothing left to do now that I've wiped my phone out, except I have to go pay a girl for her services last night. That sounded better in my head. Anyway, pay the waitress her tip. Okay, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for